All right, let's do this. Hello, everybody. So, today's topic, as all topics, as all conversations, hopefully will just provide some useful context and some helpful hints and tricks for people to get on a better and more efficient path with their CrossFit journey than I did. So, today's talk could probably be encapsulated in something like ideas for managing intensity and not burning out. So, managing intensity and not burning out. So, intensity is one of those critical things in CrossFit, astonishingly critical, but I think largely a bit of a mystery and misunderstood is maybe a better way to say it. So, let's go for a little journey with intensity and managing intensity. So, first of all, CrossFit is defined as constantly varied functional movements at high intensity. They chose a very small number of words to define CrossFit, so each one of those is there for a reason, and high intensity made an appearance, and for good reason. It's mission critical. Intensity, we used to say at the level 1 seminars, there's that long line that, let me bring it to the forefront of my mind now. Intensity is the independent variable most commonly associated with maximizing the rate of return of favorable adaptation. It's a mouthful, but basically what that means in oversimplified terms is the good stuff that you want to get out of working out every day largely comes from intensity, whether that's improved body composition, you want to get stronger, you want to get faster, you want to get fitter. You will achieve those goals with greater success and with greater efficiency by pursuing them with intensity than by not pursuing them with intensity. So intensity is very important. And intensity also has a relative component, right, as we go down this path. Intensity it's absolute in a mathematical sense, but then you've got relative intensity, which is based upon the individual's physical and psychological tolerances. And we did an entire podcast on relative intensity. So if you want to go back and just geek out on that, that is Linchpin Conversations number 52, all about relative intensities. You can dive into that. So, okay, so intensity is important. Kind of leads to the good stuff. And we all don't want to waste our time in the gym, right? We want to get the good stuff. But I think high intensity, right, constantly varied functional movements at high intensity with CrossFit, and you're like, okay, well, I want to get the good stuff, so I got to work out with high intensity. I think high intensity is often confused with maximal intensity, and that's not the case. High does not mean 100% effort 100% of the time. If you can do that, you are a very unique individual, and they should do a scientific study. And when you pass away, your body should be dissected and explored in a laboratory because you are superhuman, and that's incredible. Most people cannot go 100% of the time with 100% intensity, workout after workout, day after day, week after week, month after month, without eventually reaching some level of burnout, overtraining, or under recovery, whatever you want to call it. And then they say such things as CrossFit doesn't work, I got burned out, it's not sustainable, or some other sort of, I don't want to say nonsense, but particularly nonsense that potentially could have been avoided had they used a different tactic or strategy. So let's not confuse high intensity with maximal intensity. They're not the same. Um, I've said this before. If you think about a pie chart, all right, 0 to 100, cut three big slices, all equal size, and it's low intensity, medium, and high. And I know this is not exactly scientific, but if they're all cut into thirds, then 0 to 33%, that's low. If you're in the 34% to 66% output, you're in the moderate slice of the pie. And if you're 67% all the way to 100, well, that slice of the pie would be considered high if we're just saying low, moderate, and high. Now, of course, we could have subdivisions in there and make it as complicated as we want, right? But point being, if you're in the upper 60s or somewhere in the 70s as far as like effort level, you make a very good argument that you're still working out at a relatively high intensity, but you're not working out at a maximal intensity. And you can probably sustain a 70 to 80% intensity level for a very, very long time and enjoy wonderful decades of CrossFit without burnout or all these other things that plague some athletes, and I wholeheartedly believe could be avoided. So that simple pie chart might work for some people. Other people, when trying to figure out if they're working out at low, moderate, or high intensity, there's that classic rate of perceived exertion scale, which goes from 1 to 10. 1 basically being you're just sitting in a chair doing nothing, 10 being you're pushing yourself to your absolute limits, and then they're subdivided 1 through 10 through that. And you can pick it, how did that workout feel? Where would you rate yourself on the chart? Or after the workout's over, how did it feel? Or I'm going to go into it and I'm going to do a 6 or a 7, whatever it happens to be. That's great. It's obviously a bit subjective, and it could be a bit wishy-washy and change day by day based upon a myriad of factors from sleep, nutrition, stress, what you did the day before, etc., etc. But it's a useful starting point for some people. Other people like to use a wearable device. Will kind of help them out as to how hard am I pushing myself, how did yesterday go or last week go, what should I do today, etc., etc. I believe that works for some people. I also think that has its pros and cons, just like anything else. And then the other one, potentially the least scientific, but maybe the most widely adopted historically, is just the old common sense. And how do you feel, right? I mean, you wake up that day, you have a pretty good idea as to whether or not you slept terribly or you woke up feeling like $1,000,000. You reach down to put on your shoes. Are your hamstrings so tight and sore that they almost split in two? Or does your body feel pretty good? I mean, all of these are relatively common sense factors as to how you're feeling that day and maybe whether you should push gently, moderately, or intensely when you walk into the gym. So whether you use the old pie chart, the rate of perceived exertion scale, some sort of wearable device, or good old common sense, if it works for you, then it has value. Okay, that's probably the easiest way to say it. Somebody might like option A, somebody else option B, but if it gives you some sort of worthwhile data and guidelines to figure out how you should perform in the gym, then it's good to go. I've got all my crazy notes here so I don't forget anything. And you can't hide data, right? So pick whichever one of those routes you want, and the question is, are you improving? Are you improving long term? Not just did you have a good workout today or a good week, but in general, are your lifts going in the right directions, your metabolic conditioning going in the right directions, your body weight movements going in the right directions, your 1 rep maxes to high volume workouts of 100 reps, your strict movements, short time domains to long time domains, etc., etc. Is all of that generally going in the right direction and improving? And if the answer is yes, you can make a pretty good argument that however you're gauging how hard you should go each day, that you've got a pretty good read on yourself and you're doing well. So here are some just tips and tricks that I think are, this isn't the only way to do it, but maybe you can listen to these things and apply them to your life if they make sense, okay? So I'll give a couple vague ones and then we'll walk through a week of training and see how it could really lay out in real life. So if you are a member of Linchpin, a Linchpin private track, you've got the Beyond the Whiteboard app, and you can look forward into the future. You have a crystal ball and you can see the upcoming week's workouts, usually several weeks out. And what you could do using that benefit is look ahead at the week's training and then make your plan of attack on which of these workouts are you going to try to crush, which ones are you going to hold back on, etc., etc. There's a reason why we've got 5 days workouts over the course of the week and 2 days rest. We're trying to allow the athlete ample time to train and ample time to rest so that they do feel good enough to attack some of these workouts with a relatively high level of intensity, to get that good stuff out. That's also why one of them is, not for time every week, just again to give you that slight pressure release so that when it is time to bring it, that you feel up to bringing it. So if you have that app, fantastic. If you remember the private track, then you can look forward and lay that out. Let's say you're not. Hey, no worries. The door is always open for you. But maybe you follow the workouts a week behind. So if you're a week behind and you follow them through the Instagram channel or you go to CrossFitLynchpin.com, you follow the workouts, and if you can look a week behind, well, then you can see the entire last week's workouts, and then those are the ones that you're going to do, and you can do the same thing. You can look at the workouts and figure out which ones make sense for you to attack high intensity. Maybe there's one or two you're going to do moderately. Maybe there's a low intensity one in there, so that you're not trying to go absolutely high, crazy every single one of those 5 workouts over the course of the week, because I don't think you'll get away with that very long. And I don't want to have people working out for a month or two. We want people working out for decades. So now let's take this and put theory into actual reality. So if you do go back and look at last week's workouts for Linchpin, so that would be starting with Monday, I've got it called up here, Monday, November 30th, and running through Saturday, December 5th. Here are the 5 workouts. I'll just say them briefly, and then we'll chat about them. Monday was a deadlift, heavy day, and it's a ladder. 2, 3, 5, 10, 2, 3, 5, 10. So deadlift heavy on Monday. Tuesday was a 15-minute AMRAP. Not a barbell in sight, okay? No barbell. 15-minute AMRAP of some calories on the bike, some hand release push-ups, and some knees to elbows, okay? 15 minutes, no barbell. Wednesday was an interval day based upon Nancy, but a reverse interval Nancy. It was going to be 5 rounds each for time, 15 overhead squats, and then boom, take off like the devil's chasing you in a 400-meter sprint. You'll rest 3 minutes between each interval. So Wednesday's an interval day. Thursday's a rest day. Friday was not for time, had a bunch of high volume air squats and a bunch of strict pull-ups, and that was our programmed not for time day. And then Saturday was a triplet, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 of bar facing burpees, toes to bar, and a clean and jerk at 155 or 105. So once again, Monday deadlift, Tuesday 15-minute AMRAP, no barbell. Wednesday interval. Thursday rest. Friday not for time, a lot of strict pull-ups. Saturday descending 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 of a triplet with a 155 clean and jerk in there. Sunday's a rest day. So as I look at those 5 days, okay, whether you're looking, you're going to do this week or you're looking forward to it, here's what I would think. Here's how I could attack it. Monday's your heavy day. It's going to be taxing. There's no doubt about it. But, it's not for time. There's built-in rest. Rest as long as you need. Get in a good warm-up. Get in a good cool-down. So a heavy deadlift day, no matter what's going to leave a mark. But take care of your body to minimize that as much as possible. Tuesday, that's your 15-minute AMRAP with no barbell. I might look at that day and figure that that's a day I'm going to go with moderate intensity. Okay, I'm not going to try to shoot for the moon on that one. I'm going to move, I'm going to get a good sweat going, I'm going to breathe, but I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to hold back a little bit. Because why? What's Wednesday? Wednesday is a dedicated interval day. Intervals are synonymous with intensity, high intensity, short time domain, built-in rest. So when I look at that week, I want to say, okay, Wednesday's an interval day. Wednesday is one of those days where I'm supposed to bring it if I can. So I'm going to manage my week, working out every day, getting in some good fitness, but I want to make sure when I wake up Wednesday morning, I'm ready for some intervals. So that's why Monday was heavy. Tuesday, I did that 15-minute AMRAP moderately. And then Wednesday, intervals, get after it. Thursday, we've got a rest day. Beautiful, right? And now we've got 2 training days left. We've got Friday, which was a programmed not for time day with strict pull-ups and high volume air squats. It's programmed not for time because a lot of people struggle with strict pull-ups, so take your time. Break up the sets as much as you need. You could do it for time if you wanted to, but you don't have to. And I would maybe use that for the average athlete as just that. It's a strength and skills day to build some upper body pulling capacity. No need to light your rear end on fire with intensity. You're good. And then what do we have on Saturday? A beautiful descending rep scheme triplet. Bar facing burpees, toes to bar, and clean and jerks. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Which if you're nice and rested and haven't tried to go 100% every single day, that can be another workout that week that you're really going to try to press the gas pedal down as much as you can. So now when I look at that 5 days of training over the course of the week, I think press the gas pedal real hard on Wednesday, on the interval day, press the gas pedal really hard on Saturday on that triplet of burpees, toes to bar, and clean and jerks. So that's only 2 out of 5 days of training that we're saying really stomp the gas pedal down hard. Monday was a heavy day. Give it the respect that it deserves. Don't try to do anything else that day. Therefore, you won't be just beat up and feeling like garbage. Tuesday, we had that 15-minute AMRAP, which I was going to just do moderately, make it a great workout, but I'm not going to try to just, sell my soul to the devil on that. I'm going to hold back a bit. Take that rest day on Thursday for sure. And then Friday, we had that the strict strength gymnastics, upper body pulling, pull-ups deal with some high volume air squats. No need to shoot for the moon for that if you don't want. So I would kind of say over the course of those 5 days training, 2 days were high intensity, and maybe 2 days I would lump into moderate. Maybe in the upper end of the moderate, depending upon how you're feeling, but that's, again, shooter's choice and up to the individual. But it's not 5 days of gas pedal down to the floor, the tachometer in the red with the engine almost blowing up in some sort of unsustainable thing that you're a hero for 1 week and then you don't understand why you feel like somebody beat you with a baseball bat. That's not what we're going for. And you can, now this may, laying out this week like we just did, this may vary a little bit week to week. It may vary from athlete to athlete depending upon what they excel at and where they struggle. There may be times that work well for them to push it, times that it might work well for them to not do it for time and make it more of a skill or practice day. But if you understand the intent of what we're doing and you have a good kind of baseline knowledge of programming, that gives you the power to look at a week's training, to look at your week, look at your strengths and weaknesses, and then attack that week in a way that will not only increase your fitness, but provide sustainability and balance. And that's largely what we're all about at Linchpin. It's what the whole CrossFit community obviously should be all about. And you won't know how to do that from day one or week one if you're a brand new athlete. But the more of these conversations that you listen to, the more you become a student of the game, the more you pay attention to what's going on. The light will start to come on, and you'll be able to look at a week now through a new lens and make some really good decisions. And when you get to that point, it's an exciting point to get to because it is one of the absolute keys to sustainability, to not hating training because you just feel dead all the time. That's not how it should be. And so there's a better way, and hopefully conversations like this help provide a little context for athletes to get them on a good path, because we want everybody rocking for a long time. That's the goal. So anyway, all right. Oh, Nick, I appreciate that. Let's see. And what is wonderful about how you program, you make this all happen naturally, intelligently designed Yes, so Nick's saying some very kind words. So thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. And yeah, there is a way to program in an intelligent and sustainable manner, and it's one of those little subtle art things of programming that at first glance, programming might just seem like you're just writing workouts down over the course, of the week. And okay, we went below parallel on this day, so we won't tomorrow. And we went short today, so we'll go long tomorrow. And those are all part of it for sure. But then, as you become a bit more sophisticated with your ability to program, you can have, such as the things that I just mentioned about last week there, that maybe upon initial observation aren't readily apparent, but once you check them out a bit more, and you dive a bit deeper and you peel a couple layers of the onion back, there's a lot more there than meets the eye for programming that, in my opinion anyway, will sustain people for a lifetime, not just for a week or two. So that's it. Have a great day, everybody. Today is it's a heavy day for front squats, so it's going to be a real treat. We will talk soon, and that's it.